Ever felt your voice silenced, your ideas subtly reshaped until they're unrecognizable? Jamal knew that feeling. In a world priding itself on inclusion, he faced an invisible edit that threatened to erase his brilliance. This story reveals how he battled hidden bias and reclaimed his truth. Learn how to amplify your authentic voice and make it heard, even when the discrimination is unseen. In the bustling heart of the city, inside a bright, modern advertising agency, Jamal sat at his desk, fingers poised over his laptop keyboard. The open-plan office buzzed with energy glass walls, sleek desks, and a constant hum of creativity filled the space. This was the kind of place that prided itself on being progressive, inclusive, and forward-thinking. Yet for Jamal, a talented young black man, the reality often felt different. Beneath the surface of smiles and polite nods, a subtle tension simmered, an anxious undercurrent that was as invisible as it was corrosive. Jamal had a mission: to be recognized for his creative ideas. He had poured weeks of dedication into a campaign concept that was bold, fresh, and perfectly aligned with their target audience's desires. It was a story waiting to be told, with unflinching directness and energy. Still, there lingered a quiet dread. Would his colleagues see the brilliance, or would his voice once again be muted, softened, or worse, erased? The day of the big brainstorming meeting arrived, and Jamal walked into the glass-walled conference room clutching his notes. His palms were steady, but inside, a familiar anxiety twisted deep in his chest. Around the table sat his boss, Mark, and a handful of colleagues, including Todd, who often seemed to have the talent for rephrasing ideas better than their originators. Jamal's heart beat faster as he began to speak, outlining his campaign with clarity and passion. The room stayed quiet for a moment after he finished. Then Mark shifted in his chair. "I like the energy, Jamal," he said, his tone cautious, "but it's a little aggressive. Let's soften it." Jamal's throat tightened. Before he could respond, Todd chimed in, spinning Jamal's core idea into words that sounded safer and less assertive. The more Todd spoke, the more Jamal felt his original concept slipping away like sand through his fingers. Mark nodded enthusiastically. "Great thinking, Todd. That's the angle we should explore." A wave of hot anxiety and frustration crashed over Jamal. This wasn't just about the campaign. It was about his voice being erased, his creative fire being dimmed to fit a mold that wasn't his. But Jamal had a choice: to stay silent as he had before, avoiding the label of being difficult, or to speak up and claim his space. The weariness of invisibility had become heavier than the fear of confrontation. When the next meeting rolled around, Mark presented the softened concept to the team. Jamal's heart pounded, but he stood tall. "Mark," he began clearly, steady. Voice steady and respectful, the original power of the concept was in its directness. Our data shows the target audience responds best to authenticity, not softened messages. He did not accuse. He offered facts. He spoke their language: data, targets, authenticity, forcing them to meet him where his idea lived, not where their biases wanted to place it. A hush fell over the room. Mark stared at Jamal's slides, then back at the watered-down version of the campaign. Slowly, he nodded. "Show me the data again," Mark said quietly. In that moment, Jamal felt a shift, not just in the atmosphere, but in his own sense of self. He had not only saved his campaign from dilution, but had reclaimed his voice and his space at the table. The anxiety about being overlooked hadn't vanished completely, but he had found a way to stand with it, to be seen without apology. Later, back at his desk, Jamal allowed himself a small smile. The road ahead might still hold challenges, but today he had discovered something crucial. A strength born from standing firm in his truth, backed by preparation and calm conviction. That strength, he knew, was the most powerful campaign he could ever create. The advertising agency continued to thrive, embracing more diverse voices and ideas. Jamal became a mentor, guiding other young talents and advocating for inclusivity in every campaign. Mark, now more aware of the subtle biases that had once clouded his judgment, worked to create a truly equitable environment where everyone felt valued and heard. The agency's campaigns became bolder, more authentic, and resonated deeply with audiences, leading to unprecedented success and recognition. Jamal's journey inspired many others to speak up and challenge the invisible edits that threatened to diminish their voices and talents. The invisible edit became a reminder that true creativity thrives in an environment of respect, authenticity, and unwavering support for diverse perspectives. And so the city's advertising landscape began to reflect the vibrant tapestry of its people, a testament to the power of speaking truth to power and embracing the beauty of unfiltered voices. Jamal continued to create, to inspire, and to challenge the status quo, always mindful of the invisible edits that once threatened to silence him. He knew that the journey towards true equality and representation was an ongoing process, but he was ready to face it with courage, conviction, and an unwavering belief in the power of his own voice. And so, Jamal's story became a beacon of hope for those who dared to dream, to create, and to speak their truth, no matter the invisible edits that threatened to silence them.